All hail King Griffo as Glory fans ask, what the fuck has happened to my football club? Pressure mounts on Stephen Peters' Glory girls as they sink to last on the table, and the Tillies in action for the last time in 2025. Welcome to the Far Post Perth, powered by ID Athletic. Download the latest football catalogue, idathletic.com. Big thanks once again to Trio Homes, Dino Giuffre and the team. If you're looking to build, redesign or renovate, reach out to triohomes.com.au. Blayne Treadgold is my name, going around the table. I think for a season debut, isn't it?
It is, it is.
Straight from therapy. Donna Giuffre's with us.
Intense therapy for the weekend.
Yeah,
no turtlenecks.
Fair enough.
No turtlenecks in my household.
Neil Sherwin's with us. Welcome back.
Yep.
And James Renton. Welcome back, buddy. A fair bit going on. Plenty to talk about. A good feeling around, particularly Perth fans at the moment. But let's get stuck into it. Our good, our bad, and our ugly. Donna, good. Is there any in your world at the moment?
Well, outside of the A-League there is. Man United clinched a win on the weekend. That was a good.
Didn't deserve it, though.
No, didn't deserve it, but who cares? It's a win. Give me something. The bad for me, are we going to go through them all, or do I just
Do you not
stop?
listen to the podcast and how this thing works?
Sorry, I haven't been here for a while, so just patience.
Just give us your good for
What's your
now.
name, Neil? Patience. Just Man United, I guess.
Man United, good.
Yeah, that's it. Let's go for that, yes.
Oof.
It's the only thing I have on the football
I
on the
watched it.
weekend.
They're still shit. So fair enough.
Calm down. You lost against Newcastle. Let's pipe it down and just beat Leeds. Let's be okay.
Exactly.
We'll talk about that.
That's all that counts.
Mine?
Yeah, go.
I'll go with, look, it's the obvious. It's winning 2 away games. It doesn't happen very often for Glory. I think the manner in which they had the win as well, but and it really does coincide with Tom Lawrence getting match fit. I think he was brilliant at the weekend. Exactly what you want from a number 10 that we've been craving. Set up a goal and was very influential throughout the game. So we've been crying out for that for a long time, to get a player in who can dictate the tempo, who's good with the ball at his feet, has great vision, can play a pass, is unselfish in front of goal,
Can finish.
did all those things really well. And long may it continue, because I think it doesn't come down to one reason why Glory are playing well. There's a lot of things going right at the moment, but it's no coincidence that it's coincided with him getting a run in the team after a bit of a false start with the concussion and whatnot. So I think he's probably my biggest positive and the good.
The only thing that I'll say about that situation is it's happened again with these imports coming in far too late and we're waiting until round 5 to be able to hit the straps with these imports.
Yep.
It feels like we haven't learnt that lesson yet. That's the only kind of, and that's not his fault. I mean, that's pointed at the Glory and the football department.
Yeah,
but it seems to happen year in, year out.
He would have been what game was the concussion? Was that round 3?
Yeah.
Look, a couple of games. It's still earlier than probably Castro ever was, but yeah, I agree with you to a point, but I also think that if we do get him in now, and rather than chucking him in round 1 because he didn't play, if you do get the best out of him because you waited a few games in. Now the thing for me is how long do you wait before you extend him, because he's only on a 1-year deal. What do you do?
You want to see a bit more first, I think.
How much more? Because you might end up competing against a club in India or somewhere else in Asia for a signature. How long do you wait to lock someone down?
And obviously your point last week about the changes in the salary cap, I mean, I think you need to be, to Neil's point, you have to be a little bit more proactive with everything that's coming, don't we?
Yeah, it's small sample size, same as it has been for Griffiths, but he looks very, very good and
highly spoken of as well.
Yeah, so and his interview after the game was pretty good. I know he's a trained professional and he's played at a very high level, so knows how to talk to the media, but he sounds like he's bought into what Griffiths is selling, says that the players are all rowing in the same direction, all that nice stuff. Yep. But it just capped off what was a really good performance. So if he plays like that for another couple, for these 3, say, home games, by Christmas time you have to start looking at an extension.
James, what's been good, mate?
Kind of an obvious point as well, but just the whole spectacle of the Sydney Derby.
Yeah.
And there was multiple parts to it. It wasn't just, the game itself, but there was the antics from Anthony Pantazopoulos on and off the park. There was the atmosphere itself from the RBB and the Cove. It was, I had mates that went there and they said it was fantastic. There was obviously the contentious decision with the handball that wasn't given. I think the FA released a statement or something like that over the last day or so. And there were obviously those comments from Staj at the end of the game, which have been shared all over the socials. And, I think the broader point about the need to kind of unify and try and get on board with, Australian football and trying to promote the good parts of our product rather than saying how crap it is. Because we know that it's not perfect, Australian football, but we could probably do a lot better for trying to talk about the good parts of it rather than trying to, punch down on ourselves because, you don't see it as much in the other codes as Stad was saying.
I'm going to address the other side of that a little bit later on because I've actually got that a note about that as well. Besides the glory and obviously the feeling around the glory at the moment, I went a little bit out of left field. I've gone with Michael Valkanis and the way that he's galvanised Brisbane at the moment. I don't have a foot in either camp, but his comments regarding the pitch that
Alexander the Great.
Well, it's just kind of we'll take on anyone, anywhere, anytime. Like that, the fans love hearing that shit. Do you know what I mean? And they've bought in, and you saw the passion with the den and all that. Unfortunately, the pitch and the circumstances around the stadium isn't great at the moment, but I've got to give full credit to the fans there, and that's all been built by some of the rhetoric around.
That's the juxtaposition as well, right? Because no offense, Ruben would give you 50 million excuses. I need 3 transfer windows. I need this. I need that. And then Valkanis has just gone, well, we're just going to work with what we have, but also we're going to embrace that kind of mentality that the fans want to see, and it's paying off for them.
But there's been some clear leadership at Brisbane. And they've made some mistakes, don't get me wrong, and I think they'd admit that as well, Kaz and Zach up there. But we spoke about the way that they've got the social media ticking over nicely. They've bought into the community. They're taking nice little crowds out to the Sunshine Coast where people are buying in down there in pre-season. It feels like the machine's working as it should for the whole entire club, and I think there's a resurgence happening at Brisbane. I'm pretty confident if you're a Brisbane fan, I think you should be pretty confident about where they're going over the next couple of years. The only one, as I've written about ad nauseum, is that stadium.
100%. Yeah.
Something needs to go on about that, but that's the only probably blemish at this point for Brisbane. What's been bad, Donna?
That was my bad, was the Suncorp Stadium. I went over last year for our DT38 match day and had a good chat with Zach about the stadium and the state of that pitch, and that game in particular. Both sets of teams were training behind the goals because the council didn't want them on the pitch. So you've got professional footballers training in 5x2 little goals behind the main goals because they didn't want anyone on the pitch, and they said we're just working against a brick wall. And it's been like that for years. And they want to move stadiums. They don't have the resources to, and they're trying to. But if they did, apparently it was a 40-minute trek for them to get out there, and the fans would have to get out there in the bus.
It's not convenient.
Yeah, it's not convenient for their fans. It wasn't a Perth Glory situation with, at Masso Park. They could just get on a train and it's just there. It's very easy access. But for them, they don't have that option.
Are you referring to Redcliffe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
not an option.
It's like going to Mandurah.
Correct. Yeah. And it's not an option for them. But the fans are like, well, what do we do? That pitch is atrocious. And the fact that you've got professional footballers not allowed to train, warm up on the main pitch prior to kickoff is unheard of in professional football. So something needs to be done. But like the guy said, they feel like they're beating a dead horse over there at the moment.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Bad, Neil?
I'm going to cheat a little bit and go back to something I spoke about last week, and it was Wellington's crowd. 3,677 last week. This week, 3,063.
What's going on there?
Less. That's pretty scary.
I don't understand the massive drop-off. They've won 2, drawn 2, lost 2. Pretty even record. Beat Adelaide. Was a good result at the weekend. But that's a really, really poor number. So I do wonder, what's going on there. There hasn't really been much rhetoric around it. No one's been asking to boot the Knicks just yet.
Well, I actually kind of complimented them on one of their specifically one of their marketing, bit of guerrilla marketing. They had Chiefy going out and actually giving tickets out to people on the street and doing some great little bits of footage and social media around that. And look, we scream from the rafters to get our team and our coaches out there into the community and say hello to people and come down to the common man's kind of level. But maybe it's just not working at the moment. I don't really know. We'd have to.
Yeah, their next run of fixtures. I mean, they got Auckland away in the derby, which will probably get a decent crowd at Auckland, and then they have 2 home games against the Jets and the Mariners.
Who's going to go?
Not traditionally draw cards, right? So, and not going to have many travelling supporters. Will they get much more than 3,500 again?
And another stadium situation that holds, what does that hold? 30?
37-ish thousand.
So I mean, we're in Suncorp territory. We're in Allianz territory.
Not good.
No, they're not great. It's not great at all. No, fair point. Keep us going, Renton.
I've banged on about this for a bit, but the Glory women's team. I caught their first half in particular against Melbourne Victory, and probably not the half for me to watch. But something's not right. 11 goals in the last 4 games they've conceded, and I think they're goalless in their last 2 or 3. I don't know what the answer is. I know they're playing as though they don't have a lot of confidence. I think that the shape, there's not a lot of consistency where they're playing a back 4 or a back 5, and just some of the goals that they are eating up is just, it's killing them. And, I think they had a chance at some point in the first half where I think it was Badawia who squared, I think she either squared it across or it just clipped the post, and you think, I think we're 1-0 down at that point, and it's like, if that goal went in, could that have then changed the momentum a little bit? But I still think their performances overall, there's too much that's being left there where you're thinking, is this team actually ready to make that jump into the finals despite the good signings that I think has been made? So I think
what is it, do you feel? I mean, this side, we spoke about this at the start of the season, that this side looked stronger on paper than previous years. Is it just a matter of it not clicking? Do they need to look at an Adam Griffiths style restructure and changing form and this kind of thing, formation? You
might have to. You might have to, because it's like something's not working. They've got a good enough team, and I think there probably has to be that question in the sense of Stephen Peters, because he'll obviously back himself that he can get more out of this side. But I think, from what we've seen in totality from his reign as the Glory manager, I don't think there's probably been, and maybe I'm being a bit harsh here, but I don't think there's been enough to really get excited about. So maybe there needs to be some changes to how they play, but I think definitely there needs to be that confidence lifted within the group.
Bit concerning at the moment for the Glory girls. My bad, and we spoke about this, and that was Alen Stajcic's comments. I liked what Alen Stajcic said. I just want to have that on the record. But I feel that some of the interpretation around where he was going with that hasn't quite hit the mark throughout the week. There was a real sense that people don't want any critique. There was a real sense that they want cheerleaders. And, I mean, my interpretation of what he said is certainly, celebrate the wins when you get them, by all means. But we need to be very, very careful that we're not just simply holding hands and, sitting around a campfire singing Kumbaya, and we need to be critical on things that need to be critical. And I think where Stadge was going with this is, look, let's get together and find solutions to these problems rather than bicker. I think that's where he's going, is that whole productivity of looking at these problems on face value, uniting the fan base, and hopefully the leaders can come to some kind of resolution on certain things like the stadiums, like certain other things that are going on. So I think we need to be careful on how we interpret some of this. As I said, I use the analogy about sitting around a campfire and singing Kumbaya, but I wrote a piece in the week, and I think that people said, "Oh, didn't you listen to what Staj says?" It's not about being kind of critical for being critical's sake. It's about critiquing things and saying, "Oh, look, we've got an issue here.
Providing something rather than
we need to be able to come together and find some kind of solution."
Yeah.
I'm not sure the interpretation around what Staj says has hit the mark for everyone, at least. So that was my bad.
I don't think he said anything out of the ordinary that we've all been screaming and saying from the rooftops for some years now.
No.
Around the A-League. So it shouldn't have come to a shock what he said. I can get what you're saying because people interpret things very differently.
Yeah.
And I agree, come together. We're supposed to be united. It's one league. However, every owner has a different view on how they should run things, and every department. But he didn't say anything out of the ordinary that should have shocked anybody.
No.
He's saying what we've all been saying from the sidelines.
Well, I think it goes back to something that I said a while ago. Like, it's clear that all parties want what's best for the game. We just don't agree on how we get there.
Yep.
It's as simple as that in most cases. So I think what we need to do, and I'm putting my FSAA hat on a little bit and saying, look, let's get everyone in the room and try and find these solutions rather than, sit there in silos. And I think that's what Stadge was kind of referring to.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah, that's my little soapbox rant for the night. Ugly, Donna?
The victory. I don't think I need to elaborate, do I? Yeah, definitely the victory. Apart from the loss, not being able to score, the confusion in the midfield, the fact that our coach keeps sidetracking as to why we need to sign a striker is beyond me. Everyone's saying we've had success, and yes, and we've had tongue-in-cheek moments about it, and that's what we're used to, right? We're used to being successful, and we're used to being up there, and at the moment we're just not. And I can't put my finger on it. I think Mahazi put a tweet out saying that Dillis shouldn't be blamed for everything. And no, we're always using the coach as a scapegoat here. But what needs to change? What needs to change? It was diabolical what we watched, and, getting red carded in the 96 minutes.
Disgusting lack of discipline.
It was,
shame.
the game was gone, and he still decided to go in and do something so stupid that has now cost him 2 games.
Well,
back for the derby.
We spoke about this off air,
yes.
And my view was that Davidson should have gone as well.
Yep.
Because there was a stomp from both of them, and I think they were pretty lucky only to walk away with the 1 suspension and not
Silly.
2.
Look, it was just silly, and it just shows what's going on in the squad.
It was frustration.
Yeah. They are frustrated, and you can tell even after the game or when you speak to some of the guys, they're genuinely frustrated. And, we say we had a win over here, but yeah, okay, cool.
Anyone can beat Perth.
At this, well, I don't know about now.
Well, not now, but
not
before.
now, but before, yes. It wasn't something to be, oh my God, celebrated. It was great to get a win on the road, but you watch them and it's hard to watch as a supporter and as a fan, and you just sit there and you just think, how can you change it? I don't know. I don't have the answers, but that is my ugly, and it's going to be for some time till something changes.
My heart bleeds.
I'm sure it does blue just for me.
But he has to go. The coach has to go. I don't understand. There's no case to keep him as far as I can see at the moment.
Well, we're currently sitting at Tuesday night, so you'd have to say that he's staying on for another week.
Well, you never know.
Unless shit hits the fan in the next 3 days.
Aloisi.
Yep.
Aloisi. Yep. There you go.
Be surprised.
Keep us rolling, mate.
I didn't use it last week, but it still annoyed me a week later, so I'm going to go with it. It's a Cristiano Ronaldo's ban for the World Cup. So he got sent off against Ireland.
Yeah, and he can play.
Absolute thug hitting the poor Paddy who was just defending his penalty box. He got a 3-game ban for violent conduct, and he served the first match in the subsequent qualifier, and FIFA decided to suspend the 2 subsequent games so that he's free to play at the World Cup next year. Now, it's not the first time that they've done that, and there are some previous precedents for it, but there are other players who will miss the first game of the upcoming World Cup for suspensions they picked up in qualifying. It just really points to what we all know, that it's a commercial decision. You couldn't possibly have Ronaldo missing the first 2 games in America, when America's not like Europe in the sense of there's only a handful of players that would have crossed the divide between football fans and the gen pop in the US relative to Europe, where there's much bigger names. They need Ronaldo for this World Cup. That's why part of the reason why he's been pushing through, and he's been meeting Donald and Infantino at the White House, and he's hell bent on playing. I did see a pretty good comment that the biggest issue is now Portugal are stuck having to play him because he's available. Yeah. They're better off without him, which is actually a fair point in a football sense. But yeah, it just points to a few things that we've seen already. The seeding of the tournament, the top teams are being kept apart all the way through.
How is Australia in pot 2?
Somehow.
Yeah. Well, the top names, the top countries, it's like tennis now. Seeded 1 and 2 on opposite sides of the draw. It's not a free draw like it used to be. So that's basically, again, commercial decision. Get the big names as far as you can, and hopefully they meet in the semis and the final. And then there's the other thing around the ticket prices as well, which have been astronomical for it. it just feels like it's going to be a very unsporting, or it's not going to be a fan-friendly tournament. And when it was first given to them, I was all set, keen to go. I've been to America more than 10 times. Canada would be amazing. I might try my chances in Mexico. But it sounded like a real great spot for a jolly. But as time has gone on, and the cost and everything else, and obviously the issues with getting in and out of America and checking your WhatsApp and all that, it just feels in the too hard basket. And now as we get closer to it, little things like this are just kind of turning me off it a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I'll still watch it because... why would I not? But I watched the Qatar World Cup. But this Ronaldo thing, I was like, come on, we can see exactly what you're doing. If you get the 3-match suspension, it should be a 3-match suspension. But when it's Cristiano Ronaldo, it's not. So it's just kind of irked me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It feels like this is probably the World Cup that we can say that it's becoming very inaccessible for a lot of average people.
Yeah.
I also think people don't necessarily realise what they're getting themselves in for, because a lot of these stadiums in the US are not in cities. They are miles away.
Is that right?
They are in car parks bigger than your local suburb here. The Kansas City Arrowhead is hosting some games. And I went to Arrowhead for an NFL game a few years ago. And
is that where the Chiefs play?
Yeah. There's nothing around it. There's a massive car park. There's no facilities, as in outside. There's no bars. There's no, like, they might put a fan zone potentially there, but public transport, everything else, it's a complete shit show to get an Uber back to Kansas City itself, which is a bit of a nothing city, if I'm honest. I think I've been to MetLife as well. Not in New York. That's New Jersey, miles away. Right. There's a few of them that are just the middle of nowhere, plus the heat as well, right? You've got games in Orlando and other places in
Mexico,
in July, going to be hot. So I'm not trying to shit on anyone's parade who's going. It's the World Cup. You'll probably have a great time, especially if Australia are going to be there, especially if Ireland get there. For me as well, it'd be amazing. But there's just so many things and so many red flags at the moment for it.
I think the heat's going to be a big one. I don't think people are expecting that. There's been a lot of reports about how
we're probably old enough to remember USA '94.
Well, look at the back of the last Club World Cup.
Yep.
And they're expecting it to be hotter there. So
I remember the Irish lads in
USA
Giant Stadium
94, James?
in 1994 with their hats and their sunscreen, and poor Gingers getting absolutely roasted on the pitch with Steve Staunton. It was hot. It was hot, and it's going to be the same again. So that hasn't changed. I think it's potentially. Plus, they just keep expanding it as well. So many teams, it's easy to qualify.
Way too many teams.
Yeah,
I'll still watch it.
Yeah, no, same as me, but I can see exactly where you're going with it. Renton,
to kind of continue with the Ronaldo theme, it's a bit of a niche point, but Real Madrid and what's going on with Xabi Alonso. So it's
enlighten us.
So it's obviously Real Madrid. They've got that Galactico kind of team. You've got the heavy names in Vinny Jr. You've got Jude Bellingham, Kylian Mbappe. And, if you're not Carlo Ancelotti and you're wanting to implement a brand of football and a culture like Xabi Alonso is trying to do, which is almost at the opposite end of the spectrum to what Carlo was doing, then you're going to ruffle some feathers. And there's been, surprisingly, a lot of rumours suggesting that there's pretty heavy player discontent within the Real Madrid camp. There were even speculation that Alonso might even get sacked. Players are not happy with the approach. And for me, at least, it's kind of the drawbacks of that Galactico kind of approach that Real Madrid have gone with historically. It's like you've seen what PSG have done when it's not like because they got rid of Mbappe, things turned out well for them, but it's like they started to build a team, and that's how they got sustained success, especially in Europe. And you look at Real Madrid, you would think with the amount of top players that they have, they should be playing better, but it just doesn't seem like it's a harmonious dressing room. I've seen plenty of occasions where Vinny Jr.'s come off the pitch this season and he's been throwing tantrums, and I do feel for Xabi. He's a top coach. He did a great job with Bayer Leverkusen. So I'll be very intrigued to see how the next few months go ahead for him.
It's the right appointment, but the wrong club, because it's the right appointment in terms of setting a culture, and he's proven himself. He's worked his way up through the coaching tiers. Obviously a phenomenal player as well, and a very smart man. But these players do not want to be coached by people who think that they know better. These players, and it's a historical thing with Madrid and the Galacticos. The problem they've got is, Madrid are bankrolled by the government, so then they've no problems financially. So their thing is sign the biggest name possible. They've done it through the years with players way back before James was born, right back, you know,
10 minutes ago.
Beckham, Ronaldo, Figo, all those players, Roberto Carlos, going back years, they just bought the biggest names and then tried to just put them on the pitch. Now somebody's come in and this current iteration is the equivalent of those names in the next generation. And now someone's come in and it doesn't just want to put them on the pitch. Don Carlo, for as great a manager as he is, he would just tell them to go and have fun, you know, and they would do it and they would respect him, so they played for him. But now there's this butting of heads and talk of some leaving as well. And it could come to a head and just blow up and be a disaster. And Alonso might be the one to go before the players, because as much as Xabi Alonso is a great coach and a great player that we know of, he's not a bigger name with the kids, for example, and with everything, and the marketing and the sales and all of that as some of those players. So and I think there'd be other clubs out there queuing up to get him in to make him a long-term coach if the opportunity arose. Liverpool, straight away. Slot out Alonso in would be, because he was a name mentioned when Klopp was leaving, but it would not surprise me. He's loved at that club and he was great for them, so I wouldn't be surprised that if Slot went and it went tits up for Xabi Alonso, that's where he ended up.
Very quickly to round us out, my ugly was the brawl at the end of the under-17s v Iraq for Australia.
Scenes no one wants to see, except everyone wants to see.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, 20 years ago I'd probably say exactly that, but it's those kind of scenes, you know, and you get it in football, and I absolutely hate it, and it's them chasing each other around, you know, you need the Benny Hill music on, and
but why'd you hate it?
Well, look, if you're going to go up and thump someone, just go up and thump someone.
And get a 5-game ban?
Well, what are you going to do? Chase him around the pitch so you can try and kick him in the nads?
Do we know why it happened?
No, I don't know.
Okay,
know what happened.
They just don't have a pylon.
It's something that we don't see often. Well, we don't see it at all. I think the last time we saw something like that was probably the basketball when Australia played Philippines a few years. And
I remember that.
And it went nuts like that. So I mean, we don't see it very often, but it's the kind of thing that I don't want to really be seen associated with Australian football. I don't like it, as I said. If you're gonna,
so you'd rather the Australian footballer thump people instead of just have a bit.
No, I'd rather them didn't do anything at all. But I mean, this whole kind of chasing each other around, and you know, the days. I'm going to look a bit old now and sound a bit old, but I mean, if someone thumps you, you kind of get. You know,
bring back the beer.
Yeah, but back in your day, black and white TV,
there we go.
There was no replays. You couldn't get caught. You know, you could chin someone and get away with it. Every angle is covered here, and it'll go viral. You'd actually end up tarnishing your reputation at that age with clubs, potential suitors. You know,
well, I'll be interested to see what the sanctions are that will be brought down by FA. And maybe
a bit of push and shove.
Well, I don't know if it was just pushing. I thought there was a bit more to it when you got guys running from the other side of the pitch to try and get involved and that kind of thing.
Like, and chinning and
I don't know.
Who knows?
Depends who shouldn't have been on the pitch. That's usually where they'll look at people who interfered.
There's definitely people running from off the pitch.
There was people off the bench.
Tell you what, Blayne, don't watch baseball because they cleared.
Oh no! As someone who grew up playing,
don't watch ice hockey because there was heaps of fight there.
We don't see it often with Australian teams, so it did just come up a little bit ugly. Anyway, we will wrap things up for our first section there. We'll head to a little bit of a break, and we'll come out the other side. We'll chat Perth Glory next.
Tired of the same old cookie-cutter home designs? Dreaming of a space that truly reflects you? Then it's time to talk to the team at Trio Homes. Whether you're looking to build your dream home, redesign your current space, or simply renovate, Trio Homes is committed to unique designs, local personalised service and quality workmanship. And with former Perth Glory star Dino Giuffre at the helm, you'll know you're getting passion and dedication built into every project. Discover the difference with Trio Homes. Visit triohomes.com.au.
What a run! This could be the one! It's in! That's what it's all about! And when it comes comes to sports gear that helps you perform your best, ID Athletic has the winning formula. From grassroots clubs to elite athletes, ID Athletic provides high-quality sporting apparel, screen printing, embroidery, and made-to-order promotional products. Proud sponsors of the Far Post Perth and passionate supporters of WA community sport. Visit ID Athletic at 84 Howe Street, Osborne Park, or online at idathletic.com. ID Athletic. Build your identity.
Part 2 of the Far Post Perth, a podcast, and we'll get into our next section, ladies and gents. We'll talk a little bit about the Perth Glory. 2 wins on the trot, 2 wins on the road for the first time since 2021 against Melbourne City and Adelaide United, where Bruno Fornaroli and Daniel Steins scored for Perth. Well, it's been a long time coming, James. Good feeling around for being a Glory fan at the moment.
It's kind of a weird feeling where it's like, do we really deserve it? Do you know what I mean? It's like it's almost like, do we really deserve to have like those wins after what we've been subjected to for a long period of time? But you take it. We've performed well, and I think that's the big thing. The Newcastle game was definitely a smash and grab. This one, we were the better team from start to finish. And look, it's not perfect, and Griff was, he's obviously one of the first people to mention that. But what we're seeing is the players are buying in. They've simplified what the messages have been in terms of what they want from the players with and without the ball, and you're seeing that. And when you've got quality players like Tom Lawrence, and even just all the senior players in particular, I think are really stepping up. You're seeing that with Woots and Kaltak at the back. I think they're doing a great job. You're seeing that the midfield, they're coming in their own now with Bozanovsky and Freeney. Shamoon, I thought, was outstanding, and even though Adam
Barber, as he's called,
the Barber.
Why'd you call him the Barber?
Why is he called the Barber?
Because he looks like a barber. That was what Griffo said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that's the thing. You're starting to see now the bare bones of it, or you're starting to see a team that actually, I think finals right now it should be an objective, but I think we still need to see a little bit more. But it's far more promising now than what we saw, obviously, a few weeks ago when Driller was still the coach.
Without going too hyperbole on this, is it fair to say that this is the most pivotal period under the new ownership?
Yes, easily.
Because I feel like it is. I think you come off the back of 2 wins away. You've got 3 home games that can solidify this season and get people on board for the remainder.
I think
is that going too far?
Yeah, I think it gives you something to build on, and there has been some comments around like it's only 2 wins, it's only 2 games. Don't get too giddy, and you got to temper expectations a little bit. But they do have 3 home games now, and that's huge in anybody's world, right? That you're back home, you don't have travel, you have recovery, you sleep in your own bed, you can do some more work on the training pitch. That's clearly paying off. Yeah. So don't fuck it, basically. There's that little bit in your head that's going to be, we're going to go full Glory now where we get those 2 away wins and then don't win a game at home. Yeah. There's still that little bit of doubt there, and I think that's natural and fair. And I think
it reminds me a little bit of the Popper era when we had that massive game against Melbourne Victory.
And ballsed it up.
And ballsed it.
Yeah.
I think there was 19,000 people there.
The Fill the Park, the hashtag Fill the Park.
Was that the Fill the Park?
Yep.
Yeah.
But
look, there's plenty of positives. 15 shots in an away game.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
We tripled MacArthur's XG. I know people don't like XG, but we tripled it, so I'll take that
I think there
week.
was a lot in there. One thing I've really noticed is with Sutton in goal, they look a lot more comfortable playing out from the back with their feet. That with Sale previously and other goalkeepers, it's been a case of Jesus, don't give them the ball, or else just fucking punt it when it comes back to you. Yeah. There was a little bit of passage of play around the half-hour mark where they went from the left-back position and they played 2 or 3 passes in and around the 6-yard box. Sutton played it out to right-back and all of a sudden they were out. Yeah. And it doesn't happen all the time. It's going to break down, but that intention and the fact that he's comfortable doing that is a huge confidence boost for the defence, first of all. And basically everybody watching as well, that they're not shitting themselves when the ball goes back to the goalkeeper, because we've had some bomb scares over the years. I mean, look, to be fair, Reddy went dribbling at his moments, and we've had moments over the years, but he looks composed. I really hope I haven't put any sort of mockers on him now. And there's a probably back pass this weekend.
I'm
but
going to
stage
Mirror for you.
It does look like there's a little mindset shift, though, in him and the players around him, that they realise something has switched and they've gone, we can't actually play that football. We don't have to panic.
Well, I've got a bit of a question around the goalkeeping.
Yes.
Is Matt Sutton the number one?
Yes.
Oh, without a doubt. Who?
Do you know what I mean? Like, now that he's signed and established.
Yes.
Yeah, well, he's still on a short-term contract.
What's the short term? Is it the end of the season?
3 months.
Or is it only 3 months?
January?
Yeah, till January. Injury replacement.
So when Birigitti's fit, does he come straight in?
No.
Or do they extend?
Well, they have to extend it. I think you'll be creative with somebody's injury, and they'll look to extend the injury replacement to keep him.
Yeah, right.
In that deal, because they can't sign him.
Yeah.
They don't have the space.
Yeah,
someone would have to leave, because you're not going to carry 3 senior goalkeepers in your squad.
We could do.
Well, yeah. So it will be. We don't know a return time for either of the other two.
No.
Even if they do return.
So Warner's been on the bench, hasn't he?
Yeah, every game. Even if they do return in the next few weeks, they still have a few more weeks to get up to speed to play. So I imagine they're having some conversations now about what happens with Sutton. But it's his. Why would you?
Yeah.
Because if you lose him, someone else will snap him up straight away. He's been good.
Yep. No. I just wondered your thoughts on that. A couple of other questions. Everyone's just. I mean, I feel that everyone's just on board with Griffiths now, aren't they?
Yes, I think the way that he's carried himself,
except for the club.
Well, they have. I think they have to be cautious though, given how obviously this Drillage scenario turned out, and it's a bit ironic that you're replacing an assistant turned head coach with an assistant now turned head coach.
But is the risk now that if you bring in someone else, you risk on disrupting what's been built?
Who are you going to bring in that's going to have a more profound connection with the players than what Griffo has established?
Well,
already?
this is exactly my point.
And that's the thing. You saw it at full time with how, or even when Shamoon scored, just how the players emptied the bench and then Wooten straight over to Griffo, and then at full time how Griffo was with the players.
Yep.
He's got that charisma and that kind of presence that we've not had in a coach in a fair bit. So I think, why not?
I think we've gone from people rioting if they appointed the assistant to people rioting if they don't appoint the assistant.
Well,
I think he deserves a shot. The question for me, I think he's nailed on to get it. I don't see any reason why you would.
I think you risk. I think you risk more by not.
What do? Do you appoint him to the end of the season, or do you slap a 3-year contract in front of him?
No, I think what you do is what I've suggested previously: is set some KPIs and some benchmarks, give it to him until the end of the season, with a view to extend. This is what we went back, and we've got to remember, this is what we went back and said about Zrilic as well, was the fact that and I think they've been burnt by 3-year contracts, surely, of unproven managers.
Oh, you wouldn't go for 3. You would go to the end of the season and review
and then extend.
I would actually go to the end of the season plus next, because otherwise you risk yourself getting burnt by, if he has a solid second half of the season, if this momentum continues, someone else will just be like, oh, cool. Yeah. Nice, you served your apprenticeship, or you come to the East Coast somewhere and coach over here, because there's going to be a few hot seats over the next while, and if his stock continues to rise, again, small sample size, they've won 2 games, this next 3 for me will probably make up my mind about how long I would give it to him for. But I think at absolute minimum, you give it to them till the end of the season, based on what the players have said, based on the change. And it's a no-brainer, and it probably would be silly to, I mean, all that money they could have saved on a worldwide search.
I don't think they've done too far. You can see the mindset of the players has changed, and you speak to some of the people around there and the staff and the players, and there was a lot of excuses regarding the pitch conditions for training and why they had to move and all of that, and that was contributing to their losses. And all of a sudden Griff's come in and he's like, too bad.
Well, talking about excuses, Griffo was on Sports Drive on Sport FM this afternoon, and excuses was mentioned. He says, I don't put up with excuses. It was simple as that. It was black and white. I don't put up with excuses. So
you're seeing the mentality of the players.
Yeah.
I also think he has a lot more motivation than a career coach, right? Somebody who might hop from club to club. This is his chance, right? If he fucks it and they lost every game 5-0, who's going to give him another gig after this, right? Where's he going to go? He'll go back to coaching NPL, or this is his shot at, and it's fallen in his lap, probably fortuitously, but he's going to do everything he can. And if people aren't pulling in the same direction as he is, he'll just cut them, because
I think he's going to be ruthless on that.
He doesn't. He's no other choice. If he doesn't have the core group of players with him, and they're not buying into what he's selling, it'll be a case of, we'll see you later. I don't have time to fuck around here. I need to get these results now. But on the flip side of that, you've got seasoned professionals as Wooden, Lawrence, Taggart, and then the other younger players. They're clearly buying. You can't fake what they've been showing emotion-wise with celebrating with him. And, you know, if you didn't like the coach, you would celebrate with the players in the corner. Yeah. They're all running over him.
Because I'll just add to that point as well. I think Paletti from Roundball Australia mentioned at full time that you could hear the players in the change room. Like, it was deafening how loud they were at full time. So obviously that's from the short term and the win itself, but just I think what Griffo has fostered thus far in terms of a mindset, especially away from home, where the previous Glories at teams, I think they would not have been able to have managed and coped with seeing out those wins against Newcastle and MacArthur. But I think, you know, again, that mentality that I think Griffo's driven, and the senior players, I'm pretty sure, would have driven themselves as well. The way that they've hung on to both of those games away from home. Yes, they're against crap opposition, but the fact that they did it, I think for me is quite profound.
Another thing that he mentioned this afternoon that I found quite interesting was he said, look, I expect the highest of standards from my players. Where I come in is I top them up with the details. He goes, I'm just detail driven. He goes, I don't do the day-to-day kind of stuff with them. They know, they're professional footballers. They know how to do that. I'll top them up with the stuff that they need for match day. And it was as simple as that. It's a really...
He doesn't overthink the process.
Well, he's a really interesting cat to listen to. I really enjoy some of the stuff that he's coming out with at the moment, and just obviously might just think a little bit...
Got a bit of Lubo about him.
There's a little bit... Well, with the highest possible... With the highest possible compliment, there's a little bit of on the spectrum kind of areas that I think he goes into. Like, it's just like... the detail. I mean,
he's interesting to listen to.
Rain Man territory.
He's quite honest. And answers questions openly. And I think he's talked a good game so far. But it's easy to talk a good game when you're winning games, right?
Yeah,
you know, as well. So he's got that little bit of swagger. He had the suit on.
Ponytail. What's happening with that ponytail?
Well, he looked like he just come from court.
Those oversized suits, someone tailor them for these coaches.
Representing himself.
No, he clearly wants the job. And I think having that firmness has resonated with fans, because if he says, I want the job, and the team are winning games and the club don't give it to him, people will be pissed, which kind of blows your mind compared to where we were when they said, oh God, we're just giving it to the assistant again. But he's proving himself week by week, and that's all you can ask for, you know, improvements. And so much of football is mindset and mentality, that you can see the difference in a team in a couple of weeks when they have belief and they are getting all in each other. They're going to beat more teams if they continue the way they are.
So why haven't we announced it then? That's my other question. Is that, wouldn't you just want to put this to bed, or maybe or is this part of it?
Maybe it's also like they're trying to get Griffo to really prove why he should be the guy. Perhaps in the
that's what I mean. Are they trying to extend that kind of bit of
excuse the pun? But I want to see, is it a purple patch?
There you go.
But that's the point about those three games coming up against Wanderers, Sydney, and Adelaide. That's going to be the litmus test to see, well, is this really the guy? Now that there's a bit of expectation, can he handle it?
I think if he comes out of this run of games with between 5 and 7 points, you appoint him at Christmas and you go with it.
Yeah.
Done.
Sounds very good. Anything else on the Glory? Of course, what I was going to ask is coming home, taking on the Wanderers. If everyone's fit, I mean, do we just go same 11? Because I feel that we do.
Yes.
No. You've got to get Pennington in.
You've got to get Pennington. So where does he come in?
Centre midfield.
For?
Whether it's Freeney, whether it's Timmins, whoever, but sitting next to Bozanovsky.
I'd keep the midfielders the same, just because I think the combativeness of Freeney and Bozanovsky against the likes of Thurgate and Brillante, I think we're going to need that especially. And I think Pennington.
Mind you, Pennington's a pretty physical player.
Oh yeah,
he is, but I think
Gets around the pitch.
I think Freeney and Bozanovsky are a bit more of a two-way midfield than Penno. I think Penno would rather drive forward and attack, and I think Penno has looked far better off the bench and provided that spark creatively. So I think it'll
you play your best players from the start and you take them off after 60 minutes if they're fucked. That's the way I see it, and he's one of the best players that they've got.
Yeah.
So that would be probably the only one. I thought, look, I'm not a Trent Ostler fan based on his output over the past couple of years.
He was at left back,
right back,
or was he at right back?
He was at right back.
Chabelle was left.
He came in.
Oh, because
he came in.
So what happened to Labib?
out of the squad entirely.
Yeah.
No reason. Really
harsh.
strange, because I thought he was good.
And I was worried, but
I won't say good, maybe serviceable.
As someone who has been disappointed with Ostler's output in terms of goals, assists from a right winger, I do think he's serviceable at right back, and I thought he did quite well at the weekend. So having him with Risdon in reserve, I wouldn't change that. But I think for me, you pretty much, as we've spoken about, Wootton and Kaltak never changing. Sutton in goal, perfect. Shamoon has looked great at left back, even though he's naturally right-footed. The only one for me may be Despotovsky, simply because the run of games playing
just give him
every week. Does he need a week? Does he need a break? It's a Sunday to Friday turnaround with travel.
Sure.
He has gassed in games, so maybe you
That's where you
freshen
can
up.
put Pennington in, maybe.
Square peg round hole, though.
Yeah, I feel it is too.
So maybe that's the one I would potentially look at in terms of how he is. Give him this week on the bench and then bring him back the following week. But he's playing well. So again, playing for 45 and take him off. Potentially.
And final question on the Glory. We've still got Sutton, Amos to come back in. Any news about whether they come back in this week? I thought this might be the week for those two.
I'm not sure.
I'd be surprised if you saw Amos this side of Christmas.
Yeah, I don't think he's coming back till the new year.
And Sutton?
I haven't heard much about Sutton, but Amos, I'm pretty sure not till end of December.
I think from the training footage from last week, Sutton was in the recovery group or something.
Yeah,
He was still involved.
So, all right, so it might be this week or next.
The presser will be in the next couple of days.
Interesting times. Elsewhere around the league, Brisbane Roar beat a Melbourne Victory 1-0 on Saturday. Wellington beat Adelaide 2-1. Central Coast drew 0-0 with Melbourne City. Good result that for the Mariners, you feel. Western Sydney beat Sydney FC 1-0. Auckland went down in atrocious conditions to Newcastle 2-1, and of course Perth beat Macarthur. Boys, on the Auckland-Newcastle game, should that have just been called?
You soft person.
No, I'm just asking. I'm just throwing it out there.
Corica with his little
I'm just asking.
little cape
It's meant to be
on.
if the ball can't do a certain amount of rolls or whatever, and they're meant to.
It's great fun, but I mean,
I think it had gone so far into the game that if you scrapped it, the result would have stood anyway. After playing it, so
keep it going.
But the Mariners, a great result, and they were pretty good value for it. Redmayne has been a brilliant signing for them.
Yeah,
he made a couple of great saves. Was really, really good, and both teams had the ball in the back of the net, disallowed for offside. And it was a bit of a seesaw battle in warm conditions. I quite enjoyed it for a 0-0 draw. So the Mariners are doing a lot better than expected. You mentioned about Brisbane Roar and their social media improvements and all that. The Mariners have disappeared off.
Well, someone said they haven't put something out on for certain social media for months or two.
Someone forgot the password and didn't hand it over.
Their Twitter's gone dry.
Yeah, so they're doing okay. You know, when you look at the ladder where they are, they're 7th. They're on 8 points. Now there's very little separating.
Is Warren Moon in that? Is he in the same window that Adam Griffiths is?
See, this is the sort of thing where I'm saying if you don't lock Adam Griffiths down, the Mariners are the sort that could come in.
Well, they might still want Anastasiadis though.
Was he going to go up there? He was on. He was on that podcast this week, wasn't he?
Suited and booted, yeah.
Don't think I've ever watched a full episode.
I haven't watched it. No. Anyway,
maybe they might give it to Moon, but still think there's maybe a bit to play out for them.
He's doing quite well with what he's got.
Agreed. Yep. No. All good. Well, let's take a little bit of a break and we'll get set to wrap things up after part 3 after this.
Tired of the same old cookie cutter home designs? Dreaming of a space that truly reflects you? Then it's time to talk to the team at Trio Homes. Whether you're looking to build your dream home, redesign your current space, or simply renovate, Trio Homes is committed to unique designs, local personalised service and quality workmanship. And with former Perth Glory star Dino Giuffre at the helm, you'll know you're getting passion and dedication built into every project. Discover the difference with Trio Homes. Visit triohomes.com.au.
What a run! This could be the one! It's in! That's what it's all about! And when it comes to sports gear that helps you perform your best, ID Athletic has the winning formula. From grassroots clubs to elite athletes, ID Athletic provides high-quality sporting apparel, screen printing, embroidery, and made-to-order promotional products. Proud sponsors of the Far Post Perth and passionate supporters of WA community sport. Visit ID Athletic at 84 Howe Street, Osborne Park, or online at idathletic.com. ID Athletic. Build your identity.
Final part of the Far Post Perth. A big thanks to ID Athletic and Trio Homes. Ladies and gents, a few things coming up later, this week and across the weekend. Championship final, an interesting one. Two of the, I guess, powerhouses of the old NSL days. South Melbourne hosting Marconi at Olympic Village at Heidelberg. I think that's the only thing that feels weird, is that
Bit off.
at Heidelberg, and it's one of these. It's this weird kind of situation. We also get it with the Australia Cup. Is that where do you have it?
Yeah.
There's nothing that's truly neutral.
Yeah.
Optus Stadium.
Well, as far as the Australia Cup goes, I've always been a fan of just setting the tradition of having it in Canberra every single year. Just start the tradition. It might start off small. In fact, I know it'll start off small, but do it. The only other side is that you'd have a two-legged final.
Yeah, well, you're going down to selling the rights to the A-League Grand Final territory there, aren't you, by having it in the same spot every year? Like, are you going to travel? Are Wellington and Glory going to...
But the A-League, the A-League and the Cup
Canberra.
are very, very different, because in the A-League you earn the right. In the Cup you don't earn the right to host.
No, I don't think it should
It's
be
purely a
hosted.
commercial decision,
yeah.
which I think is worse.
I think it should be decided based on what markets are in it.
That's fair,
If a Perth team and an Adelaide team got to the grand final, you don't host it, or got to the final, you don't.
So if
host
you had to
it in
have Sydney against Melbourne,
yeah,
where do you have it?
you can draw lots if you want. I don't care, as long as it's in one or the other and not in somewhere that both sets
Is
of fans
irrelevant.
are.
Well, I mean, this goes back to the old capital debate, doesn't it? That's why Canberra is the capital, because it's halfway in between.
Yeah.
So it splits
I know,
the middle.
I would be fine having it in Canberra if
Yeah.
it was a Sydney and a Melbourne team, but if it's a Wellington and a Perth team,
yeah,
No one's going to go.
Well,
nobody's
halfway in the
It is. Well,
Halfway
Alice
in between,
Springs,
yeah.
Springs, or
Have it in
somewhere.
Alice Springs.
somewhere. It's a tough one.
somewhere across the Nullarbor.
They were going to have it at
On the
Bob
links.
Jane, but apparently the athletics meet
Yeah,
or
got-
something
yeah.
had it booked from
Just
months
keep
on
sending them
end.
to Darwin. It's great.
Just
It's
as well,
there. It's a
yeah.
lovely little spot.
Oh, I'd love to head up there for a game.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
If Glory keep missing the
Playoffs.
missing
Sure to happen.
playoffs.
Sure to happen.
Can play up there.
A few other things going on. Of course, we spoke about the A-League women. Not a great time for Perth under Stephen Peters at the moment. Who's up next, James? Do we know?
I think they've got the bye, and then they've got two games at home in a row. I think it might be Wellington.
All right.
next.
So, I mean, and to be fair, they've played a lot away. So
They
it
have,
may be a
yes.
factor of coming home, having the bye, having a reset,
they need to perform.
getting a bit of sunshine, and then
They need to perform.
they need to. Oh, they do.
They're a good enough team, and
Yep.
let's hope they can do
Well,
that.
it wasn't the pass mark finals this year.
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
That's what they talked,
Yeah.
the big game, and
Yep.
everybody was
Yep.
expecting
No,
it. So,
absolutely.
yeah, they need to get their skates on with that.
Yep. Let's go around the A-League men for this week. Two Friday night fixtures, the first of which is Donna Giuffre's Melbourne Victory, heading up to Campbelltown to take on MacArthur. Both teams not in a great spot at the moment.
I'm going to go for a draw.
A draw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see anything ambitious happening this week out of either one of them.
Sherwin?
MacArthur are going to pump them. Can't wait.
I'll wait for next week
Can't
when
wait.
they don't.
Let's keep them in. Keep them in for another week. Let them get absolutely battered again and keep them rooted to the bottom of the table. Bring
Ransom.
it on.
I'll be a dick and I'll say Victory will win and Dillers will do a Mourinho at full time.
No, I'm going with MacArthur because it's in line with my pre-season predictions. Perth v Wanderers.
I think
This is an interesting one.
I think we do it.
You think Perth get over the Wanderers?
I do too. I think the momentum is there, and I think a home game. I think
I'm going to pick a.
I think we're desperate
for a home win.
We're dead desperate for a home win. After those last two away games, I think they are desperate to get back to Perth and put in a good performance because they were pissed. I'm going to say 2-2. I'm going to pick a 2-2 draw.
You can say the momentum's with Glory, but the momentum's with the Wanderers as well. They've won their last two games as well, so it doesn't really, it's a flip of a coin. I am not ready to tip Glory yet.
No.
If they win this week,
you're not ready to get hurt again.
I'm not.
Fair enough.
2 games,
3 games.
Small sample size, right? If they beat the Wanderers this week, I will strongly consider it the following week. So I'll go with a draw for this week, leaning towards optimism.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong on this next game. We've already had a Kiwi derby, haven't we?
Yes. It's very quick.
Well, this
like we're having
I
every week.
I get it. It's hard to be able to have the draw and have everyone happy and that kind of thing.
But at least you should play everybody first before you start messing around with.
We're in round 5 and we've had 2 Kiwi derbies. Round 6 and we've had 2 Kiwi derbies.
I agree with that. I know they get front load derbies, the season with derbies and all of that, but no, I completely agree.
Yeah. It just annoys me. Who wins this one? Is it just simply Auckland at home? Is it simple as that?
Yeah, they get back on track.
100%.
Yeah, they get back on track.
Oh, here we go, James.
Draw?
James,
yeah, I'm going to pick Auckland. Auckland easy for me. Newcastle, Melbourne City, 2 teams that, Newcastle's very, very up and down. Melbourne City's got a little bit more momentum. Mark Milligan's under a little bit of pressure now because they started well. They may not have been getting all the points in the bank, but they were
Milligan and they go for former player Alen
and they go for Griffiths.
Oh, you're breaking Neil's heart, Glory. Sign him up. Sign him up.
City.
City?
Yeah, I'm going to go City. Yeah,
City will
City
get back
for
on
sure.
track. They were coming off an Asian game against the Mariners and looked quite leggy. I think they'll be back to normal.
Speaking of the Mariners, they take on Sydney FC. Do they get anything up there at Gosford?
Sydney will win narrowly. 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah, 2-1 Sydney. 2-1 Sydney, yeah.
And finally, Adelaide v Brisbane. This is a good match.
Every time I've tipped Adelaide, they've done the opposite. So
what are you going to tip them? Draw. So I'll do the opposite.
Draw.
Put your house on it.
Adelaide, they've got one of the strongest home records in the comp, I think. So I think they'll do it.
Draw.
No, very, very good. Any burning questions this week?
What is the appetite for people to watch 3 home games in a row? You know, and because I'm of the opinion that you are going to dilute, right, by having 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Because we did go a month, as we mentioned last week, without a home game, and now we're going to go 3 in a row. Is it too much saturation?
Well, I like what they've done with some of these ticket specials, and this isn't just Glory; it's happening
that.
around.
Members don't like it.
Well, do you know what though? But it actually brings, if you were to work out the per game rates. That's all it is for those small samples. So you're not getting anything cheaper than what the members are getting. You're getting pretty much the same.
School holidays are here.
Cash in.
Yeah. Kids want to watch.
Yeah.
Parents have nothing else to do but entertain their children.
I'll be interested to see if it does dilute. Are we looking at 5,000-6,000 for each of the games?
For each of them. Yeah. Interesting times. Rightio, let's wrap things up there. Big thank you to ID Athletic. Big thank you to Trio Homes. Big thank you to you, Donna Giuffre, you, Neil Sherwin, and you, James Renton. Make sure you tell everyone about the podcast, now available on Spotify, on Apple, and YouTube Music. We'll see you next Tuesday for more here on the Far Post Perth podcast.